but 56% of the people in the city don't have power. I don't have running water in my house. There's a growing number of people in Houston. I think it was maybe a third of people, but now I think it's starting to grow. And even in small towns around Texas, like Baytown and Port Arthur, they've shut the water off completely so that their water system does not get destroyed right now. Texas does not have the infrastructure to deal with something like this. Never anticipated. And so that's why you have so many people with freezing pipes, because the majority of people in Houston do not have insulated pipes because there was necessarily not a need. Let's talk energy.
All right, Shalom. Call halal YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the man that I learned his truth from. Starting with the apostles and others of Great Millstone. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Barakatham. To the hopefully elect. All right, and it's pretty much, man, just touching on what's going on out there in Texas. All right, and more particularly so in Houston, as well as other places. All right, because like my man's here said, man, pretty much this event that took place that's going on as we speak, all right, the people were completely unprepared for, all right, because pretty much, man, they being that for the most part, man, Texas, from what I've heard, because I've never been to Texas, but again, from what I've heard, Texas is a particularly hot state, so people people never really felt the need or necessity to prepare for events like this, like the pileups that took place, and on the highway, all those deaths that took place, right? Because of the slick roads or whatnot. You got people driving dangerous speeds and weather like that. Because again, man, because ultimately it goes back to pride. All right, and again, this is why, for the most part, a lot of people, man, this event took them off. It caught them off guard. Because they don't feel the need to prepare for the unexpected. All right, and nevertheless, man, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is showing the signs of the times that we're in, man. But just real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video out, and I got an article I want to read.
Let's talk about this 56% of people in Houston that don't have energy right now. It's because Texas is the only state in the United States, in the 48 continental United States, that isn't connected to the federal supply of energy. Why is that? Because Texas broke away from it, privatized it, monetized it for their own purposes, and now the residents in Texas are suffering. People in Houston, people in Baytown, Conroe, Willis, people in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and all these little small towns in between. I don't know if the news is really talking about this on the national level, but people are dying here. They just asked for a refrigerated truck in Galveston County to help store bodies. They have more than 20 bodies that they need to store right now. People are dying from carbon monoxide in their homes right now. I can't even tell you how many thousands of people in Houston are choosing to they have no choice. They're sleeping in their cars outside to try to keep their families warm. People are in their house with multiple hoodies and coats and stuff. And keep in mind, this is Houston, Texas. So a lot of these people with coats, they don't have North Face. They don't have Columbia jackets. They don't have insulated coats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Like I said, this event, man, really caught people off guard because they don't necessarily feel the need to prepare for things like this. All right, because this is a prideful place, man. Not just Texas, but America as a whole. This place is a prideful place, man. And like it's been said before, man. The great humbling that's getting ready to take place. All right, because that's one thing YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI hates is a prideful look. This is why, man. The Lord's gonna start executing judgment, man, and for the most part, man, because here it is. We're already living in times where the love of many is going to is waxing cold, man. You know, because some of the other brothers that I've watched, I've been looking for these clips. I can't find them, but nevertheless they'll pop up, and I'll probably post them. But there was one clip about a Jake, man, a grown ass man in tears because of how cold it was. He was talking about how he was all bundled up or whatnot. He was talking about how he doesn't have heat, he doesn't have running water. He was pretty much asking if anybody had heat, he'll pay them money to come to the crib or whatnot. And like I said, all right, because the times I've been coming into, man, if people are already in the spirit of waxing cold, man, because that's one thing, man. We're in the time where, for the most part, man, a lot of people, man, they can give a damn about the next man, for the most part. How much more when it's all said and done and all hell's breaking loose out here, and it's really a thing of survival, all right, because that's what it's going to boil down to. I saw another video clip about a woman. She was pretty much crying, or she wasn't crying, but she was pretty much screaming because they were telling them, some residents to boil the water, and she was screaming how are they supposed to boil water if they don't have electricity? Which goes to show you how, on another note, it goes to show you how women, they ain't gonna make it, man. All right. Because, the scriptures talk about how women, they're deprived of wisdom, and situations like this where there's no electricity and things of that nature, man. And, being on a lot of these people, all right, which again, because, some people are so dependent upon the system of things, they can't fend for themselves, because again, being the times that we're coming into, man, it's not gonna hurt, because ultimately, of course, we gotta have faith in YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, but it wouldn't hurt to learn how to live a bit of a primitive lifestyle, all right, because going back to and she was a Jake woman, appeared to be, crying out how they're gonna boil water if they don't have electricity. Well, common sense will tell you to make a fire. But again, being that these people are so dependent upon the system way of doing things, all right, stuff like that, man, wouldn't even come to people's minds, because again, man, this is a proper place, and little by little, man, you're gonna start seeing well, because it's already been said, like I said, a lot of the other brothers have been talking about this over the months, and just prophesying this in general, about how, with these different blackouts or whatnot, you're going to start seeing these different blackouts or whatnot, right? Because, I've even said this a couple of times, and this was before I even started following, because before I started following GMS, I was a part of a different camp, often give that testimony. I was a part of a different organization, right? So I was, familiar with the truth and familiar with the destruction of Babylon, which is America, and things of that nature. Esau, Edom, being a so-called white man, and things of that nature. I was familiar with it. So I was, prophesying of well, I'm not going to say prophesying. I was, speaking on the things such as the destruction of this place or whatnot. I was speaking on these things. And, one of those things, man, I would often mention, I would often talk about how the lights going out in this place. And, because one day the lights are going to go out in this place of America, and they're not going to come back on, man. This could also very well be the event that, because Joe Biden quite a bit mentioned a dark winter, entering it into a dark winter, because it's nothing for Esau to take away the power, pretty much do things, pretty much attack a wounded animal. All right, it's nothing for Esau to come in, to cut the power grid or whatever, and to come in and make his move. It's nothing to Esau, because he's a heartless people. All right, they're a heartless nation. All right, they can give a damn about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right, and with that being said, let me go ahead and get to this article, because what people don't understand is I'm gonna read this article real quick. It says 20 dead across U.S. amid wild weather as Texas blackouts plunge up to 15 million people into darkness. All right. It says millions of Americans are without power Wednesday morning as winter storms and freezing temperatures batter the country. At least 20 people are dead due to weather-related incidents. As for Texas, the state with the most power outages, millions are still without power heading into the fourth day. And this was published to February 17th. Today's February 19th. Was today Friday, right? Let me say this because a brother did one of the elder brothers out there in the GMS Houston. I believe I posted a video. He did a pretty much like a testimony of what's going on out there. Like the guy said in the first video that I played. And just like this brother out there in GMS Houston. All right, there's a lot of things going on that they're not reporting on in the mainstream media. All right, a lot more people. Put it like this, man, because there's a lot more deaths than just 20 people. All right, because he mentioned something, and I'm talking about the guy from the first clip that I played. He mentioned about something about a freezer truck for 20 bodies or something like that. There's a lot more people dying than that. All right, the elder brother from GMS Houston, he pretty much went into how people are literally freezing to death. There's a lot more deaths than what they're reporting on, and a lot more things going on than what they're actually reporting on. All right, like I don't know if this is out there in the mainstream media. It might be. I don't know. I haven't checked, but I believe they deployed the National Guard troops out there. If I'm not mistaken, that could be the wrong place. Yeah, that could be the slacky about that. That could be the wrong place, but so yeah, man. Because like I was saying, it's nothing for Esau to make his moves, right? When the power's out and things of that nature. You should look into something called Project Zypher, which is something I plan on doing a lesson on. I was I had some clips and stuff saved up, but like I mentioned, the video I did before, they clipped my main channel. I had a lot of videos. I've had hundreds and hundreds of videos saved up, stuff that I was looking into or whatnot on the main channel, and it's all gone. So no big deal. Yeah, man, it's no big deal. It's on to the next, but nevertheless, Project Zypher, pretty much they going into extract certain individuals, in the middle of the night and things of that nature, take them to God knows where, and whatnot. Stuff like that could already be going on. Because like I said, there's a lot of things going on that the mainstream media is not reporting on, and that could, they could very well be, extracting people, when it's freezing cold temperatures and things of that nature. Because the scriptures do talk about how it says, "Pray not that your flight be in the winter." All right, but without straying off too much, let me read on. It says Bloomberg makes an interesting inquiry into the blackouts' actual size across Texas in recent days, considering utility companies cut outages by customers and not actual people. The real number could be north of 15 million people who have been plunged into darkness amid frigid temperatures. All right, and yeah, because again, this thing it goes by the customers. So it's not actually it goes by the customers and not the actual people. All right, so because pretty much the numbers that they put out there could be way higher than what they're what they're saying the numbers are really, because again, it's not about the actual people, it's about the customers, people without power and things of that nature, and on another note, because this is something that they actually they actually, because this wasn't a people may be confused to they may think that this may be some type of weather event that cut the power out when in fact this is something that they actually cut the power grids, right, and cut the water out and things of that nature. This is something they did deliberately to supposedly prevent damages and things of that nature. All right, so this wasn't some weather anomaly or anything. No, they actually they deliberately cut the power off. All right, because like mentioned before, man, there's nothing for them to do these things. All right. You know, but reading on, it says Texas Power Grid operator ERCOT, which manages 90% of the state's electric load, serving more than 26 million customers, was forced to cut power to millions of customers as Arctic air spilled into the state, freezing wellheads that impeded the flow of nat gas to power stations, triggering electric shortages as demand overwhelmed the grid. So you see, so again, so pretty much, so they don't, there's no damages to the grids or whatever. They deliberately cut the power and the water. All right. It says the high concentration of nat gas generation on ERCOT's grid makes it vulnerable to power disruptions if fuel flow is disrupted. What's worse is that ERCOT is a separate grid than the rest of the country. This means ERCOT had limited abilities to pull power from the other grids, which was the resulting factor of why blackouts occurred. So, and this is just my opinionated thought, all right, just my humble opinion, because being that, read this part of the passage again. It says, what's worse is the ERCOT is a separate grid than the rest of the country. This means ERCOT had limited abilities to pull power from other grids, which was the resulting factor of why blackouts occurred. All right, because again, they deliberately cut the power. All right, but nevertheless, because of this fact, all right, that pretty much Texas is separate. Again, this is just my opinion. That could have very well been a good reason for them, or a good excuse for them to, because this could have been like something planned out. Because again, it's no coincidence. Texas is pretty much has its own, pretty much its own thing. It's separated from all the other not countries, but states and whatnot. So that could have been deliberate in itself. But again, that's just my opinion. I don't know. But reading on, it says the highest amount of power outages in the Lone Star State occurred on Tuesday when PowerOutage.us recorded 4.423 million customers were without power. Bloomberg makes the point that since a customer is not factored into the number of people in the household, the number of the people left in the dark could be at least 15 million people. Data supplied by Bloomberg shows more than 26,000 megawatts of load have been wiped off the grid since Sunday. ERCOT warned customers over the weekend that rolling blackouts were needed to prevent a wide collapse. For some context, a megawatt powers roughly 200 average homes in Texas. All right. So again, being that this is these numbers are based off the customers themselves and not the actual people, living in the household, so on and so forth. All right. The numbers are definitely higher, as far as people without power and whatnot, and best believe, man, these people are suffering, all right, because, again, going back to what the elder brother in GMS Houston, all right, gave his little testimony, man, people, they're suffering out there, man, they're going through it, and thoughts and prayers to those brothers out there, the sincere believers, brothers and sisters, all right, out there in Texas and Kansas City, and all those other places that are suffering. Thoughts and prayers out to those brothers and sisters and children, right? All the believing believers, because amen, they're going through it, man. But nevertheless, because the difference between them and these other people, all right, when it's all said and done, man, can give a shit about these other people, all right? Because again, being that these people, man, the Lord is going to start bringing down the haughty, all right? These people are prideful as hell, man, and the Lord is going to start, he's already starting to execute judgment upon, because ultimately, because you got a lot of talk about, the heart, weather modifications and things of that nature, right? And whether it's true or not, ultimately, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is in control of all things. All right, it's something I always got to point out. All right, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is always in control. All right, so nevertheless, all right, concerning the sincere believers out there, man, those that are suffering, may YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, continue to be with those individuals. All right, but as far as everyone else, man, the scriptures say, man, they're going to be in a pitiful case. All right. Because this is just a start, man. This is just the beginning of sorrows, like the scriptures talk about. you know. But let me read on. It says the blackout's real size remains a mystery, but it's undoubtedly one of the largest force ones in the country's history. In the last several days, Texas has been transformed into a third world country, and that's another thing that's been pretty much prophesied, man. America as a whole, man, is going to become a third world country. All right, you know, and again, just going back to my humble opinion, man, this could be a maybe like a little test run, you know, to the real deal, man, because there has been talks of an EMP attack, and you know, there's been talks about Esau taking out his own, power grid and things of that nature, you know, because again, you know, eventually the power will go out in this place, man, or I should say the lights will go out in this place one day, all right, because one thing, man, the scriptures talk about, it talks about how the Lord is going to judge, bring back the plagues of Egypt as before, all right, and one of those plagues being darkness, all right, when those ancient Egyptians fell, that darkness, that thick darkness that could be felt, right, you know, and they had all type of different apparitions and you know, things going on, all right, you know, they went through hell, man, you know, so that's, you know, something that, you know, I'm expecting to take place, all right, when these lights go out, man, all right, where was I at? It says Texas has been transformed into a third world country with rolling blacks, controlled power outages, cellular networks down, water treatment facilities offline, and millions of people freezing in their homes while the state's economy grinds to a halt. It says power outage. The U.S. shows 2.965 million customers are still without power in the state on Wednesday morning, with millions of Americans in other states battered by winter weather and also suffering power outages. At least 75% of the lower 48 states are covered by snow. This week, at least 20 people have died from the wicked weather across the country. All right, and again, you know, I'm sure, man, that number is way more than what they're reporting in the mainstream media, man, because then people are suffering, man. They're going through it. All right, you know, there's some videos that surface about, you know, pretty much, man. Yeah, I saw this one clip of what appeared to be an Edomite trying to go into a store, man, and he's crying out in his spirit, man, like, he's basically asking clerk, man, begging for food or whatnot, because there's no, I mean, people can't cook, man. You know, again, you got to remember, man, a lot of the stuff, a lot of our appliances like stove and oven, a lot of this stuff runs on electric. All right, and being that a lot of these people, man, they don't know how to, you know, be self-sufficient, so to say. They don't know how to start fires or whatnot. All right, you know, these people, man, they're going through it, man. You know, and there's no telling the crime that's going on. You know, I mean, there's just no telling. You know, because like I keep saying, man, there's a lot going on that is not being told, man. You know, but nevertheless, man, this is the case, man. You know, and you know, this is, I mean, things are only going to intensify, like it's been said, like the elders keep, you know, they've been saying, man, this place is only going to get worse, man. I bet you those people out there in Texas right now, man, because everyone, you know, for the most part, all of last year, they were crying out, you know, for 2020 to be over, just to come into this, come into this mess hole, you know. But I bet you those people out there in Texas are you know, wishing they can, you know, go back in time or whatnot. All right, you know, when they had some heat and whatnot, you know. But nevertheless, man, all right, this I mean, you know, this is only the beginning, man. You know, and again, being that these people are prideful as hell, man, this because like it's just been quoted, the scriptures get quoted a lot concerning, you know, peace and safety, then sudden destruction, all right. And like I said, man, this event took a lot of those individuals, man. They caught them off guard, man. They weren't prepared. They had no idea, and they didn't feel the need to prepare, to be prepared for this, right? You know, you had the what's that in I think it's Saudi Arabia. All right, they're covered in snow. They haven't had snow in like 50 years or something like that. You know, so the Lord is he's speaking, man. He's starting to let me get this real quick, because I do have a few scriptures saved up. But let me get this in 2nd Ezra 9. All right, because the Lord is going to start shaking this place up, man. 2nd Ezra 9 and start on verse 1. He said, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right, and again, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi starting to visit this place, man. The Lord has left us here these signs for us to, let us know that, hey, man, get yourselves together, get yourselves right, because, hey, man, knowing and understanding that, let me say this, because there's no contrary to what they teach in this world. All right, there's no rapture doctrine. All right, the only rapture that's going to take place is when delivered, because the scripture says those that endure unto the end shall be saved. So that cuts the whole, I'm saved doctrine. A lot of these Christians, I'm saved, which is just an excuse for them to continue to live their wicked lives. Because again, it all boils back to pride. All right, people thinking that they're saved just to give themselves just self-justification so they can continue in wickedness. But no one's saved until, or no one knows. We don't know if we're going to be saved until we're getting beamed up in those chariots. All right, which would be the so-called UFOs, which, that's another topic, because more and more have there been chariot sightings. All right, so-called UFO sightings, and the sightings are going to continue to increase. Right, and these chariots are going to start manifesting themselves more and more, to the point where you're going to walk outside, man. You're going to see a chariot, man. You're going to be able to see the details and everything. You might even be able to see the angel operating the chariot and everything. All right, but that's that's just because again, that's part of the signs. All right, see more and more chariots and things of that nature. All right, but nevertheless, stuff like what's going on over there in Saudi Arabia. All right, again, because they haven't experienced what they're experiencing now in over 50 years. That should be a wake-up call. That should be an eye-opener. Like, hello, like the Lord is doing something here. All right, because again, look at what happened in Texas, man. They're not used to that. They weren't prepared for that. Especially when something like that happens down south, man. Because me myself, man, I've been in the South, man, all my life, man. I've never seen snow. But that's not to say that, the Lord can't make it snow out here, down here. That's nothing for Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi to do. All right, but nevertheless, stuff like this, man. All right, it's the signs of the times that we're in, man. And again, these would be the signs that Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi left for us to, show us that, he's getting ready to make his second coming, man. Because I was going to say, knowing and understanding that the kingdom, because I mentioned, this whole rapture doctrine, when they teach that the church or the body, is going to get delivered before the tribulation, when that's far from the case. All right, because we're going to live through it, man. We're not going to be delivered from it. We're going to experience it. All right, and those of the elect, man, somehow, some way, all right, the Lord's going to provide for his servants, man, to pull through it. But as far as everyone else, man, and just people in general, no one's being delivered. All right, no one's being raptured before the destruction. All right, because the scriptures talk about how pretty much, man, where is that at? Acts 14 and 22. Let me get it real quick. Acts 14 and 22. Because again, no one's being delivered. No one's getting raptured out of here before the destruction comes. All right, we're all going to experience this great evil that's getting ready to come upon the earth, the whole earth. Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. Why? Because again, we're getting ready to experience some real bad times, man. All right, it's going to get real extremely difficult and dangerous. All right, so this is why we're in need of exhortation daily. All right, our faith should be increasing and strengthened on a daily, man. All right, it says, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So you see, before we actually make it to the kingdom, we got to go through this hell. We got to go through this time period of trouble, Jacob's trouble. All right, tribulation. We got to go through this time, man. Going back to this, man. All right, because again, before all hell breaks loose, before this tribulation comes, the Lord left us these signs. All right, He left us these signs for us to, let us know that, hey, man, it's getting close to that time, man. Get yourselves together. Reading verse 2 again, 2nd Esdras 9:2 says, Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which He made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's taking place, all right, there's too many earthquakes to keep up with, man. But nevertheless, that's one of the signs, all right. And just with all these uproars, man, they're about to do this what is it with the I think it was with the George Floyd, man, with his death, man. They're about to start the trial or whatever, and I'm gonna see how that plays out, because that might lead to even more chaos breaking loose out here, however that ends up. But nevertheless, just pay attention to what's already going on around the world, man. Worldwide, there's riots and people protesting. There's uproars of the people on every continent, man. All right. There's more signs that the Lord left for us to know that, hey, man, get ready to make His return. All right. Verse 4, it says, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. And we're in those times, man. All right. Yeah, man, hey, man, get yourselves ready, man. There's definitely the time to be prayed up, man, because like I said, being that, a lot of us down here and down south, man, we there's a lot of people like me, man, have never seen snow, never experienced snow and whatnot. But who's to say that the Lord will cause it? Well, it's nothing for YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI to cause a snowstorm down here. It's nothing. All right. And will we be prepared for that? Well, Lord's will, I will be. All right. But for the majority of these people, man, these average Babylonians, will they be prepared for it? No, they're not. All right. Because they don't feel the need to. Just like out there in Texas and the other places, they don't feel the need to get ready. All right. Because their hearts are filled with pride, man. And this is why the Lord's getting ready to bring down the hardy, man. He's getting ready to bring down that prideful look, man. So some of these precepts I've got saved up. Ecclesiastes 9:12, it says, For man also knoweth not his time. And that's why it goes back to the saying I often quote, man, the saying, if you stay ready, you don't have to be ready. All right. That's why, that day won't catch you as a thief in the night, man. All right. And even the elder brother out there in GMS Houston, all right, he even mentioned, man, he even said that no one was prepared for what took place, man. No one was ready for it. All right. It says, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. So you see that these things can happen at any minute, man. And being that Esau does have weather modification devices out there and whatnot, which, like I said, ultimately all the credit goes to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because he's the one that gave Esau the ability to do these things. He gave Esau the wisdom to do these things, But nevertheless, even if Esau, with his weather modification devices or whatnot, because like I said, well, like I was going to say, anything can happen, man. Like I said, man, there could be a snowstorm, a bad snowstorm, just swipe through the whole southern area, jack us all up. Then what, But nevertheless, man, because again, the scriptures talk about peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Things are going to be happening, man, that these people, man, they're not ready for it. The things that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has in store for this place, man, these people they're not ready for it. And even though the men of the Lord and those that believe in the truth and whatnot, all right, the Lord gave us insight on these things. But even us, man, we don't fully understand how bad it's going to get until it's actually happening. And this is why, again, going back to us and these average Babylonians, man, all right, the Lord's going to have mercy upon those that put their trust in him. All right. He's going to spare those that, his servants, those that believe in him. All right. Because hey, man, when this evil comes, man, it's gonna come suddenly. So going to the next precept, I got saved up, man. I had this one, Jeremiah 13:9. It says, "Thus saith Yahawah, after this manner will I mar the pride of Judah and the great pride of Jerusalem." All right, because again, man, these average Babylonians, man, they don't think it's happening to them like this. Like another saying that goes, you don't how does it go? You don't expect it to happen to you until it's happening. But again, if you fear Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, man, you understand that, hey, man, we're not exempt, man, and we can get caught up in either of these things. The Lord can bring to talk about 1,000 ways to die, man. There's when it comes to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, the possibilities are endless. All right, there's no limit to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, and that's a part of the fear, man. He could bring all manner of evil upon us, man. All right, But Jake, man, they don't fear Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, man. They don't think like that, and this is why a lot of these people, man, and just stick it to Jake, man, because Jake being that, Jake being the chosen people of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, being the Israelites, all right, they're in for a rude awakening, man. They're gonna catch it, because even with what's going on out there in Texas and whatnot, all right, you got a lot of Edomites, all right, because the scriptures talk about how Esau, when you read in Genesis 25, it talks about how he's a cunning hunter. He's a man of the field or whatnot. He's a man of the field or whatnot. So for the most part, man, a lot of those Edomites, they know how to live off the land and stuff like that, hunt and things like that. But Jake, man, Jake is a plain man. He dwells in tents, like it says, man. Jake don't know nothing. All right, they don't know how to, go into a primitive state of living, survival mode or what. They don't know how to do that, man. All right, they don't know how to hunt and boil, make a fire and stuff. They don't know how to do that stuff. All right, and that's why a majority of them they're gonna get caught out there, man. And so be it. Like I was saying earlier with the brothers and any of the believing believers out there in GMS, out there in Texas and Houston, the surrounding areas and whatnot that they're affected by this cold weather. All right, may Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi spare them and have mercy. But as far as these other people, man, the hell with them. All right, there's no sympathy for them people. The hell with these 2/3 Jakes, man, and all these other people, all these other nations and whatnot. The hell with them. All right, because they're filled with pride, man. And these people, they're gonna get it, man. They're about to experience the wrath of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. So let me get this last one, man. All right, because this is just the beginning, man. Haggai. Let me start at verse 1. Haggai 2:1. No, let me just get to the point, because I had another. Did I already read it? Let me see if I already read it. Let me go back here real quick, Slakia. No, that's not it. Because there was another one. But I'll probably get to it. Another spirit, I'll probably bring it out in another video. Let me just get back to this. Get to the point. Haggai 2:6. It says, "For thus saith Yahawah of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land." All right, and that's what's getting ready to take place, man. All right, the Lord's getting ready to, he's already shaking this place up, man. Because like I said, this is just the beginning. What's going on out there in Texas, this is just the beginning, man. All right, and this is going to be on all sides, on all corners of America, Babylon the Great. This is going to be on all sides. All right, and ultimately, of course, this is, more so because, when this place gets hits with nuke, all right, it's going to shake the earth, literally. All right, but before that takes place, man, like I said, like I read in Acts 14 and 20, what was that, 22, right? Tribulation, man, is set to come. All right, but before that time comes and before it's all said and done, the Lord is, giving us time to get it together, man. before he really shakes things up. All right, because we're in the birth pains, man. We're into what do they call it? The what is it? The intervals, the convulsions or whatever, right? You know, the time lapse or whatever, right? We're in the birth pains, man. All right, and YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is getting, he's speaking, but he's getting ready to be done with the talking, man. And soon it's gonna be all action. You know, there's gonna be judgment pouring out left and right. All right, but nevertheless, man, the Lord's shaking this place up, man. And again, you know, because this event, man, took these people completely off guard, man. They had no idea. They weren't prepared for it. They didn't take it serious or anything. All right, you know, but nevertheless, the Lord is he's shaking his hand, man. He's shaking things up. He's shaking the jar. You know, we're the little ants in the jar, man. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is shaking the jar. All right, things are about to turn up. It's about to get violent out here. So, like the scripture say, man, set your house in order and get yourselves ready, man. You know, because again, man, this is supposed to be a wake-up call to us, you know, from YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and that's mercy in itself. All right, you know, when the Lord gives warning before He sends destruction, that's love. That's mercy. You know, but only a small remnant is going to take, you know, heed to it. Nevertheless, you know, but that was it on that. You know, hopefully this was edifying. Once again, I'm going to give all credit to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI and double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.